Hello everybody, my name is Amanda Mahlum, and today I will be speaking on behalf of the Autism Society of Wisconsin, which is an organization that I have been a liaison for since the age of 8, so it is an organization that is very near and dear to my heart. Now I would like to begin with a simple question for you all. How many of you know or have interacted with an individual on the autism spectrum or who is affected by the autism spectrum disorder? Now, although I'm not physically with you, I can imagine that this applies to all of you, if not almost all of you. But what if I told you that this is simply because the rate of those individuals affected by autism spectrum disorder has been increasing exponentially only within the time that we have been alive? Now, if we look at the statistics, when we were in kindergarten, according to the Autism Society, the rate of those individuals affected by autism spectrum disorder was about 1 in every 150 individuals. However, if we look at the same statistic now, this number has increased to about 1 in every 54 individuals. Now, this growth is insurmountable to say the least, and probably for most of us pretty difficult to comprehend. However, it is irrefutable that the growth of autism has been booming for over a decade, and there is not much being done to slow or help those that are affected by it. According to the CDC, autism is the fastest growing developmental disability in the United States, affecting more than 3.5 million people. Today, I will persuade you to help these millions of people by providing many reasons why this is necessary, by showing you how your help will initiate change, and by asking for your donations. As I said before, millions of individuals around the world are struggling and suffering through these arduous difficulties associated with this disorder. Autism can make life very difficult, not only for the diagnosed individual, but it also affects friends and family as well. I know this firsthand, as growing up, my best friend, Kylie Ambrose, suffered from severe autism on the autism spectrum disorder. Now, growing up with Kylie taught me many things, and I have cherished our friendship dearly. We met each other in kindergarten when we were about 4 years old, and we've remained very close friends ever since. Every time I come home from college, I visit her and I nanny for her every summer. But that said, I have also personally fallen victim to autism at its worst. So I have come home to my parents with tear-filled eyes, covered head to toe in scratch marks, nail indents, even bite marks, and chunks of hair ripped from my scalp. But even on her worst days, I understood that this was just a part of her disability and that she didn't have a better way of communicating. Additionally, those who suffer from autism often lack monetary resources to provide the diagnosed individuals with medication and therapy. According to the Autism Society, it costs over $1 million more to care for an individual who has an intellectual or developmental disability than it does to care for a non-IDD individual. Autism services cost U.S. citizens over $240 billion annually. This is a financial burden that is much too difficult for any family to endure, on top of the already physical and emotional toll that I have touched on earlier. Also, only 16% of those with autism are employed upon graduating from high school. This may be partially due to the fact that it costs $8,000 extra annually to put an individual with an intellectual or developmental disability through school, which makes it that much harder for these individuals to pursue higher education. This is a vicious cycle that is never ending, and the Autism Society is doing what they can with the limited resources that they have to A, find a cure for autism, and B, help aid in situations like this to make life more manageable for those affected by autism and their families. However, the Autism Society is struggling. They have a lack of funding, which allows them to do very little to help these individuals. But the good news is that we can help. By donating money to finding a cure research, by donating to medical research, and by donating sensory tools to the Autism Society of Wisconsin, an organization, like I said, that I have worked closely with throughout my entire life, this entire vision of what autism in our world looks like could change. The Autism Society would be able to provide more funding for research for finding a cure for autism itself. With increased funding, we will be able to provide families with sensory kits to help provide individuals who have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, to provide them with an emotional outlet for the chaos and outbursts that they often endure. With increased funding, we can see a world with not only new medications, but a new availability for the medications that we already do have access to help lessen, maintain, and regulate the effects of autism on a daily basis. With enough funding, we might be able to turn the statistics around and begin to slow the climbing rate of autism that we are seeing in our world today. Now, I know that these goals seem really steep, rather far-fetched, and unattainable, but I promise you, together, we can achieve them. I am asking for all of us to donate, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't even need to be money. You could donate things like yarn, silly putty, and slinkies to make sensory kits for these individuals and provide them with emotional outlets. You could donate fabric, even water, and if you do feel so inclined, you can donate a simple $5 to get the ball rolling toward a brighter future where the rate of those affected by autism is back to 1 in every 150 individuals. Today, I hopefully persuaded you to donate and help these millions of people by helping you understand why it is necessary, by painting a picture for how your aid can initiate change, and by asking for your donations. Together, we can make it happen, and I believe in us. So please consider donating, and thank you.